future, after a audio mishap definitely did not happen, and I am somehow back here once again with Forrest Green. How you going, Forrest?
Oh my gosh, that's just amazing how you managed to do that so smoothly. Like nothing happened.
Nothing at all. It's a professional. It's a professional, professional
I
show
am
here.
so good. I'm so happy to be talking to you again. It's a pleasure.
Honestly, it's just I keep on wanting excuses to catch up with you, so I'm like, oh,
Oh my
sorry,
gosh,
the audio didn't
stop
work.
it.
Oh man. Look, if anything, I feel like the audio cutting out where it did was actually kind of funny because you were talking quite a lot about your own perfectionism at apprentice and how, things don't always go to plan. And I was like, as I was editing, I was like, oh my God, is this like a sign or something? Like, what's happening?
I'm just thinking like, oh my God, how much shit was I talking? Like where have you stopped it in this nonsense that I've been dribbling? But that's all right. I'm sure it's a great cut.
Yeah, no, absolutely, genuinely. Like, did you have anything that you wanted to add on from your apprentice experience while we're here, or did you just want to go straight into the?
Um, I don't even know what I said about it.
So,
But that's okay.
I'll recap. So you were talking about how you got on stage, first few clicks into your routine, and you went, "Okay, I don't want to be here, but I'm
Yeah.
going to do this." And then later reflecting on how that was your own perfectionism, and no one else put that on you, but you did, and that's probably your biggest fail.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that was a really good recap. That was really great. Yeah, no, and it was definitely just a me thing and not a reflection of anything else. And I've sort of been like, okay, cool. If I ever do that again in the future or go into the comp sort of space, like reflecting on that beforehand and knowing that and owning that beforehand is probably my biggest lesson. Because I did learn so much about myself from that whole experience, which was really great.
Yeah,
Painful, but
absolutely.
great.
Yeah, no. Like I've had a few people like asking me about apprentice lately, and I'm just like, bloody, just do it. Like honestly, you're gonna learn something.
Yeah,
Like do it.
yeah, and they already have like the dates out for next year, so you've got so much time to prep. It's so good.
So much time. Look,
Yeah,
honestly, big message. Anyone who wants to do apprentice, just do it. Like, yeah, you'll
it's
you'll
just
love it.
fun.
It's a vibe. And you'll make friends. Me and Forrest met through it. So I mean,
I had like online stalked you beforehand, but anyway,
stop it.
I already knew about you, Daisy.
Oh my God. I'm blushing. I'm blushing.
You
All
should
right.
be.
So
You'd be great.
do you have a favorite costume that you've ever worn? Was there something that really stood out to you?
Not really. So I don't have a huge range of costumes because I'm still a little newbie, a little baby. But I do have a really cute Halloween costume that I did for Erie Improv in Canberra.
Ah!
So shout out to Empress Erie and her amazing show. If you are in Canberra or want to go to Canberra for it, it's an incredible time. It's absolutely chaotic and wild, and it's the best fun. And so I was in their October show last year,
Mhm.
and I didn't have a Halloween costume. It didn't have to be Halloween costume, but like everyone else was doing it, and I was like, I want to do it too. So I have like a sort of green base costume, right, with like the panel skirt and a corset, like standard showgirl business stuff.
Mhm.
And I got like a pumpkin to go over it.
Cute.
It was like a big, like, sort of like, you put your arms through it and like it clips that velcros up the back. And it has a little pumpkin hat as well. So you have like a little sexy pumpkin, which I really loved. It was so much fun. Probably like my favorite because it's just so silly and so cute. And it was just like ridiculous, but so much fun.
How did you strip out of that?
Um, Not sexy in any way. No, like the back Velcro, so you could kind of like pop the Velcro and then like slide it off.
Okay.
I think I kept the hat on though because it was just quite sexy, you know. Because like it was like pumpkin, like a little pumpkin top, you know, like if you'd seen the mugs from that expensive brand at the moment, they have like little pumpkin mugs, so it was like orange on top and then it had like a little green stalky bit at the top, so my head looked like a pumpkin.
Oh my God, stop it. That's so freaking cute.
It's not glamorous in any way. I just want to stress it was like from the party shop
No,
and
but
no
that's
rhinestone.
that's fun though. That's fun. Like
It
I
is
don't know.
fun.
I'm into it. I'm
I
into it.
really love it. I think it's cute as. I want to do I should do something with that at some point in the future.
You absolutely should. You should freaking bring it back. That's what I think.
Yeah, but I'm not a big Halloween gal. That's all
Uh,
right. We'll see what happens. Who knows what the future holds?
That's valid. I just had a flashback to our previous recording of this podcast, the
Yeah,
lost episode we're going to refer to it as, because
yeah,
this is wild. I'm getting like mad deja vu. I remember like I've had this conversation before, but I remember you saying something about how you could like turn it into a Christmas pudding and like do a Christmas
yes.
pudding act or something.
Yes, I just think it's so much fun to have like a pumpkin and then at Christmas turn into a Christmas pudding. And so like there's like a UK tradition of like, so my mum's from the UK, of like putting pound coins or pennies in like Christmas puddings. So I
Yeah.
could just like throw money at the audience, like chocolate money, not real money because I'm not rich. But then also I think is that a liability for insurance throwing chocolate at the audience, chocolate coins.
Like if anyone complains about that, then they're a major stick in the mud. So
True, very true. I don't think they'll mind getting chocolate from a sexy Christmas pudding.
now, would you say that you have a signature move or a signature dance move?
I really don't think so. I really just don't. I've been pondering this question since last time, and I just
Mm.
don't think that I, A, have performed the same things enough
Mm-hmm.
to have created a signature move. And I've not really had an interest. Like I've had signature moves in each act that I've done, but not one overall that encompasses like, oh, that's so Forrest.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, it can be hard, especially when you're starting out, like, yeah. How does a signature move even happen? It's like an organic thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. And I think like yeah, everything I do is just so different. Like my shows are different to my acts and my acts are different to the other acts. And yeah, not
Absolutely.
really. You're
No,
boring. Sorry.
no, you're not boring. It's all good. I remember that you do like a really cool thing with a boa where you like do
I do.
handcuffs, but
I do a
that's
little handcuff move. Thank you, YouTube. That's great.
you learned it on YouTube?
I did. YouTube is so good. I actually don't really like YouTube that much, but for feather boa stuff, I had a good time.
How do you even find moves to do with a feather boa on YouTube? Like,
Well, you've got to be careful because there is a song by Megan Thee Stallion, I think it is, called
oh,
Boa,
oh
and I
yes.
don't think it's about a feather boa. So you need to filter the results pretty heavily because otherwise you end up with all these different remixes and dances to boa rather than with a feather boa.
It's like this is fake. What is this? I just want the burlesque move.
I didn't even know boa was a song, so I was like, what the fuck is this? What is all this nonsense?
It's a freaking
But yeah, it's
banger.
fun. Yeah, it is. Now that I've learned all about it.
Oh my god, awesome. Do you think that you see yourself doing more acts with a feather boa, not boa by Megan Thee Stallion in the future?
Feather boa, yes. I love a boa. I think like I was talking to Frankie Fontaine actually recently about like props, right? And she
Mm,
was saying how she feels like you're either kind of like a fans person or a boa person, right? She
yeah.
kind of feels like you can obviously do both. We're not saying you can't do both. They're not saying you can't do either. Like you
Hmm.
don't have to do one of them.
Hmm.
But I really, so I've got fans. I first bought fans originally. That's where my name came from, as I think we discussed in the other episode.
Yes.
Um, I've got fans and they're beautiful and they're lush, but I haven't touched them in like a year, year and a half.
Yeah, wow.
But Boa, I've been absolutely mental for, and I just like it feels so natural. It feels like the most natural thing I've ever danced with, and I can't imagine like not dancing with it at this point.
God.
Whereas like fans, I'm like, oh, they're pretty and they're fun, but fans are they're a lot harder in the sense of they require a lot more conditioning and strengthening, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, Whereas like the boa, like it just feels like an extension of me, like it feels so natural.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just,
I
yeah,
love
exactly.
them.
An
They're
extension of
expensive
the
though.
body. So,
Yeah, they're expensive is my only issue with them. And
oh,
I have this like ethical conundrum with a boa of like a feather boa being from an animal, even
oh
though I'm
yeah.
not super like I'm conscious of those things. And then like I went to the zoo, Canberra Zoo, and I was like looking at the ostriches, and it was like actually getting quite violent, the ostrich towards me and my friends. It was
Oh.
like it knows that I've got like ostrich feathers in my room. It knows. And I was like, oh God, I was looking at where the feathers come from on the ostrich, and I was like, oh my God. So we'll see what happens in this space.
Ostrich is just like, what did you do to my brother?
I was like, it knows, it can tell. Because I was looking at like how embedded the feathers are in like its wings, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh God. having like a full moral crisis. Um, and then I got home and played with my boa, and I was like, just don't think about it. Which I'm not saying is a good choice. I'm not saying that. Having an ethical dilemma.
It is an ethical dilemma. I mean, like chul boa
So tricky.
exist, right? Like you could get a chul boa.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
No, it's true. It's
I
true.
mean, like they're nice, and they're nice as their own individual prop, but I don't feel like it's the same. It doesn't move the same way that like a feather boa moves.
No, it's true. Feather boas are just so slinky and sexy. They're so, yeah.
Oh, sexy.
I get it. I get it. I absolutely get it.
Fluffy.
Um, I feel like this could be a new game. You know, when there was that trend where it's just like people are either rat pretty or frog pretty.
Yeah, sure, Daisy.
You don't know about
I spend that much time on the internet.
that?
Um, I actually spend far too much, but I know roughly what you're talking about, but I
Oh
didn't
yeah.
really get it at the time.
Yeah, it's like people are either boa or fans. They're either rat pretty or frog
Yeah,
pretty. Like,
I
who's
mean, like,
boa? Who's fans? Like, I'm curious.
yeah,
Tag yourselves.
yeah.
Are you boa? Are you fans?
It's okay to be both. It's all right. We won't judge you.
It's
Or
okay.
it's okay to be none as well. It's totally fine.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Do what your little heart desires. All right. Now who would you say is your biggest influence in burlesque?
In burlesque, this is such a hard question.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I struggled with it last time as well. Because for me, there's not like a singular person of like, I am so influenced by this particular person.
Mm.
I definitely, and I think it is sort of either something I've cultivated or part of my nature that I do really get inspired and influenced by a lot of different sources.
Yeah.
And I think that's such an important thing to reflect on, to be like, there are so many amazing creative people that you can be inspired by, that you can be influenced by. Why narrow it down to like, I only really love like, like Dita One Tees, amazing, beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Always an
Yeah.
inspiration.
Of
But
course.
realistically, does my budget in life reflect Dita One Teasers? No, it doesn't. Um, Speaker of inspiration, but I'm never going to have the budget to have a costume or show like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Whereas like the people that I get influenced the most by are typically performers that I'm seeing, so shows I go to, like almost any show I go to, I get inspired by what people are doing or what they're not doing.
Mm.
Or like you sort of see something and be like, oh my God, that was so cool. Or like, just art in general inspires me and influences me. It's a bit off topic of your question, but even like I was at like the museum, I went to Melbourne Museum on the weekend,
Oh
and
yeah.
there was a zoomology laboratory, I think, in one part of the museum, which was like all these microscopic things that were zoomed up to be really large. And some of them were like germs and bacteria and viruses, right? And like the cells of them.
Oh.
And it was super random, but I was looking at all these like different like cells and virus particles and whatnot, and I was like, look at the cool shapes in that. Oh my God, you could like make like a really cool headpiece out of that, or you could like use that as like a texture on like a dress, and like I was getting so inspired by like all these really random enlarged things, and I was like, it's so funny where you find inspiration and influence. Like for me, it's not a particular person, it's a range of people or acts or artists or friends. I have a lot of performer friends. I have a lot of human friends who
Mm.
are not performers but human, who I am inspired by, and like the situations that inspire you. So honestly, everything, which is such
Yeah.
a nonchalant answer of like it's avoiding the question in a way, but I
Yeah,
do love something. We went to friend, you and I went to a Fringe show just the other week.
we did.
Um, we went to Happy Endings by Tone
Mm.
and Cheek.
Hmm.
Tone and Cheek. I think it's who that was amazing, right? And
Yeah.
I drove to Melbourne on the weekend, and the whole 10 hours I was thinking about different things, and that kept coming into my head of like that act, the show, the Jack and the Beanstalk act. I was like, wow,
Oh.
that was like, so inspiring to me. And I was like, I just can't believe that like the way that they pull this off with the silks coming up as the beanstalk and
Mm.
it's just incredible, right? So I
Yeah.
don't have like one biggest influence. I am constantly inspired and influenced by things that I see, people I talk to, places I go. Yeah.
Mm. That's really beautiful. And
Oh,
that
so
also,
cheesy. So
no,
cheesy. Ugh.
no. We love a little bit of cheese. That's fine.
So much cheese.
I got to agree. That freaking Jack and the Beanstalk act was so clever. I've been telling so many
Oh,
people about that. I'm like, you guys, you
it,
don't understand. Like, and then
it
they cut it down. Like,
oh, it was so good. And like, the first part of the show, I was a bit like, what's going on? And then by the end of it, I was like, this show is There was like so many parts of it where I was like, I would never have thought of that. How did that come out of their brain? And I think
Yes.
actually that particular their other show actually won some awards as well over the weekend, which was really,
Oh,
really cool to see in WA.
oh,
Yeah.
gorgeous. Fuck yeah, that's awesome. No, and it's so true, right? When you watch other performers, like it's so cool seeing how someone else would have done something, right? It's like, oh, I
Yeah.
wouldn't have thought of that, but I'm so glad that you did. Now that might inspire me. And it's just a constant inspiration cycle.
Yeah, absolutely. Like everything I go to, I'm inspired by. And like I've gone to a couple fringe shows, a couple of like the Australian Burlesque Festival was just on, or it's currently still touring, but they did
Oh,
their Sydney
yes.
show and I went to their Melbourne shows as well when I was in Melbourne. And everything, you're just like, oh my God, wow, 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 wow.
Yeah.
Like all the time. Like, yeah. So constantly inspired by everyone, everything.
Hell yeah. We have such an amazing community, I swear. Like it's just, yeah, we're lucky.
People are genuinely incredible.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
really, really freaking are. They really are. All right. So, do you have any advice for new performers wanting to get into the scene?
Um, yes. But also I recognize that I am still a very new human and I will always feel that way about myself probably as well, that I'm very like I'm a little baby, you know, in the sense of like very that's not to diminish myself either.
No.
Um but recognizing that I am just one little tiny cell in this whole organism, you know?
Yeah.
Um and it's more so with people who are starting out, not necessarily just getting into it.
Mm,
And it's also really advice to me. So I
mm,
wrote it with like thinking about myself and what I would say to myself.
mm, mm.
Um, so the biggest one is like, it's okay to suck. Like
Yeah.
it's so okay to suck and be bad at something or to not do well.
Yeah.
And that it relates obviously to my, as we've noticed, perfectionism that I have going on.
Yeah.
Like accepting that like I'm gonna be shitty at this for a little while. And that's where you sort of hone your skills of getting better because you like you record yourself or you get feedback from your friends or
Mm.
get feedback from people that aren't your friends as well, because obviously your friends can be a bit biased. Um,
Yeah.
and like you build, right? You build on that, but you're recognizing that it's okay to suck and I'm not going to die if I suck at it, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Love
and you're
that.
going to keep improving and being critical in a self-compassionate way of like, I want the best for me, not that I want to tear myself down.
Yeah.
So like that's a big one.
Love that.
Another one is slow down.
Hmm.
Slow down. Slow down. And that's on stage when you're performing. There is, and I do this myself as well, like I sort of black out on stage and I rush through everything. But when I
Hmm.
take that time to be conscious and to actually be where I am, and if you watch the people who are more experienced or performers that you love, performers that you're like, wow, what do you love about them? Often you'll find they are pausing, they are slowing, they are being intentional with their
Yeah.
movement.
Yeah.
And that also extends as well to your act development, right?
Mm,
Um, you don't need to put a new act out all the time.
mm,
It's
mm,
okay if you do, like that's totally fine. Um, but you also like you don't have to constantly create new things all the time to be relevant.
mm, mm,
And that's like there's excitement that comes with that of like, oh my gosh, I've got this idea, it's amazing, let me do it right now.
mm,
And I've
mm.
had to really like teach myself to be like, um, almost muggle named myself, to be Forrest. It's okay to slow down.
Yeah.
You will make the right act at the right time and it will get to the right audiences. There is always going to be a place for you on stage. You don't have to rush everything out now. Slow down and actually build it. Like Green Door took me about 9 months from
Yeah.
conception to getting it on stage, like from having the thought of like, this is what I want to do to
Hmm.
building it. And it took a long time to build, right? Because I
Yeah.
kept changing my mind about what I wanted to say, what's the message behind it,
Mm,
how do I feel about it, what do I want to put out there, and finding the right pieces of the costume and finding the right people to work with on it.
yeah.
Took me a long time because I wanted to do something that felt good and didn't just feel like I have to just get something on stage to be on stage.
Yeah. I
And I
love
guess
that.
part of that is also from the spaces I've been in previously, where I've been in studio spaces where teachers are um, constantly pushing out acts that aren't ready.
Mm, mm, mm. Yeah.
And you end up just being like, I actually want to do something really good and really powerful and not just trying to do something to have something on stage.
Yeah.
And that's just my personal feelings about that, obviously. And that is no shade at all to the spaces I've been in the past. They're
Mhm.
just not spaces I wanted to stay in, hence why I'm not there.
Yeah, so valid, so fair, honestly.
Another big thing, and I'm just gonna just rattle these off for you, Daisy,
Go for it.
is staying authentic to who you are and what you want to put out into the world.
Hmm.
Again, it can be really easy to be influenced by things that you think are cool, but also recognizing it's cool, but is it what I want to put out in the world? What
Yep.
message am I putting out there, and what do I want to bring to the stage? And
Yep.
being intentional with that, which is where I often find myself getting trapped.
Mm, mm,
Um,
mm.
I've sort of learned to like question that more of like, am I doing this because I want this, or am I doing it because I think that this person will like it?
Yeah, absolutely. When you have that that guiding voice inside you sort of like helping you with your acts, yeah, that can really help be more authentic.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Getting out of your own pond, swimming in
Oh,
different ponds.
I like that.
Um, yeah, going to workshops and classes with different teachers and different performers and different styles.
Mm,
I love
mm.
swing dancing. I love anything that I can get to. I will, tr if I've got funds and time to get there, I will try to. I think I mentioned last time I did a workshop with Big Big Energy. They did a show at Parramatta last year. I
Yeah.
think it was last year, called Snack Pack, and there was like a Vogue workshop that my friend signed up to without realizing it was a Vogue workshop. And it's
Yes.
incredible. We had the best time. I was like, this is so much fun, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
so fun being new at something and trying something new and different. So getting to different classes and different teachers and going to different shows and seeing different things, not just continuing to be in the same circle all of the time.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
Going on social media and finding different performers and researching them and whatnot, and talking to people and investing in your community. Getting out of your pond is a big one.
I
And
love
even
that.
like getting private classes and stuff as well. If you love a performer and you're like, oh my God, they're amazing,
Mm.
messaging them and saying like, hey, do you do private classes? And learning from different people is so important.
Yeah, yeah. Honest to God, yes. I need to like. I'm so sorry. You've just like said so many pearls of wisdom just then, and my brain's like
Thank
catching
you.
up. I'm like, oh my God, this. But no, private classes totally reminds me of I was at a Betty Bombshell workshop the other night, and
Yeah.
I just, oh my God, like like what you were saying about being intentional about your movement, that freaking hit home
Mm.
to me so hard because the way that she explained the reason why she was doing certain things, it just unlocked something in my brain. I'm like, oh my God, like it's just these people all have so much that they can, so much wisdom that they can give you. So it's such a privilege.
Absolutely. I'm sure her workshop was amazing. They looked so good. And I was like, damn, I'm in Melbourne.
Oh, yeah. It's okay. It's okay. I'm sure she'll do it again sometime. We'll have to go.
Absolutely. And the other big thing is that you don't have to put yourself into a box or define yourself in a certain way.
Mm, mm,
You totally can, but don't feel like, oh, I'm only a cheesecake pinup burlesque artist. I only have to do this type of burlesque. I can't. I'm only classic or I'm only neo. Like
mm,
you are a human that is complex and has so many layers and have so much to you that your
mm.
art can continue to expand and to grow and to develop as you do. And it's okay to explore different things and to try different things and to grow in that way. So don't feel like you are only a certain type of performer. You can definitely expand beyond that.
Oh, God. This is
Yeah.
incredible advice, Forrest. Oh my God. From someone who says
Therapy.
that they're just a baby.
Oh, no, she just goes to lots of therapy. That's all. No, and I've also been very, very privileged to have worked with or talked to or just communicated, been in the same room as amazing, amazing people in life and in performing.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And yeah, like as you were saying, like learning from these performers, like each one of them, I feel has so much incredible advice. So yeah, no, I love it. Oh my God. All right. So one more thing. We're actually getting towards the end of the podcast, and I'm really, really freaking hoping that this one actually recorded. So look, I'm not gonna
if
jinx
it
it.
doesn't, we're done.
So I don't want to say this is definitely it, but I'm hoping, I'm 99% certain that we're at the end of this interview. So thank you for your time. But before we go, we always spotlight others before we put a light on ourselves. So is there anyone that you want to shout out in the Sydney scene, Forrest Green?
Look, I have a huge receipt list of people that I think are incredible.
Let's
Um,
go.
Basically, if I'm following them on Instagram, they're probably worth looking at. Is probably a
Mm-hmm.
good gauge of this as well. So if I forget people, I'm so sorry. I love you dearly. Um, so obviously, I'm going to start with the Bad Girls Club because they
Slay.
do come to Penrith, which is my hometown.
Hell
Because
yeah.
they do come here. And Kitty and Anya are awesome. And when I first started producing, Anya was invaluable. She is still invaluable as a resource, but she was so supportive. She came and bought tickets to my show. She showed up to all of them. She's performed in them. So the support I've had from her has been incredible.
Oh, that's
And
lovely.
same with Victory One Duchess as well. She's a local out this way as well, up the mountains, and she has been absolutely incredible support and resource. So check out what these amazing people are doing if you're not already.
Mm-hmm.
Venus Adored is another amazing performer that I love, and I do adore her very muchly. She's also teaching now at May de la Rue School, the Muse
Oh,
Burlesque Muse.
yes.
So there are classes there as well if you want to learn some exciting stuff from her. You've also got other classes if you want them as well. So watch out for what Mama Medusa is up to, Eli
Mm.
Fury, Bella Baby Doll, Whiplash teachers as well. You've got Baja as well teaching at the Golden Era.
Hell
There are
yeah.
so many incredible teachers around Sydney. Um, you've also got Grey Ace and Cyrus, which do amazing pole work too, and incredible shows through Chocolate and Cream. And Full Cream Kitty is also teaching at the same studio as them. Then, if you want to watch Incredible Burlesque as well as the Bad Girls Club, you've also got things like Steak Pit, which is on Medusa's show. You've got
Mm-hmm.
Eli Fury producing with Bella Baby Joel for Peaches and Cream, as well as you've got like things like Old Hollywood, and they've had that amazing run with Something Wicked and Tickle and Tease at Sydney Fringe this
Oh,
year too.
yes.
Whiplash and Susie also do Follies After Dark. Then you've also got incredible shows like MX Burlesque, which we watched last year, which is amazing. And amazing performers came out of that who were already amazing performers. But you've got Aurora Wright, the current reigning champ of MX Burlesque.
Mm-hmm.
She's an incredible inspiration as well.
Yeah, we love
And this year,
Aurora.
she's just amazing. Really, really adore her. Um, and also St. Eve came out of there as well last year. He's an obvious performer anyway, but I did
Yes.
workshop with him recently and he is just such a good time and so talented. So really incredible space to watch what he's doing. And he's in so many shows all over Australia. Um, and MX this year has incredible performers, including Jekyll Doll, who I really, really adore. And I spoke to her recently at a show and she had so many pearls of wisdom to
Oh,
offer as well, which was
yes.
just so good to listen to and speak to. Songbird Siren's incredible. Peg Petite, I love Peg Petite.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Eva DeVore, I love watching whatever she's doing online. She's in so many cool spaces and her costumes are incredible and
Oh,
she's an incredible performer. I've done workshops with her. Amazing, amazing, amazing. There's also other cool burlesque to watch, like Bite Size Burlesque at Soul Trap Bar with Anna Steed and Emmeline Spankhurst. Incredible producers and performers and such a good fun time for the little
mm.
bite size show that they have. And then May Delivery has in Wollongong, she's got Hot and Fresh as well, which is really, really great. And if you want to step a little bit outside of burlesque, we do have Drag King, which is drag kings, which are also making their way into the last scene,
Mm-hmm.
like the Bailey Script. I'm probably
Yes.
saying that wrong. But they are always so much fun to watch. And you've also got spaces like Demon Derriere with Big Thick Energy and all the incredible work that they do. And then other performers I love as well that you should be following if you're not already, and I'm sure you are. You've got Midnight May, who is just fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
She's won Apprentice New South Wales this year. She was in Stage Queens, and she just also took out third place in New Follies in Melbourne as part of ABF. Frankie Fontaine, who is performer, photographer, all things amazing. And then we do have our incredible MX producers like Kellyanne Doll and Memphis Mayhem as well, who are doing incredible things across the space. So basically, if I am following them on social media, you should also be following them on social media.
I love that. That was
That's
like the most comprehensive list I think I've ever had on the show.
I
It
mean,
was
there's more.
incredible.
I could just keep going. There's like so many people. We could go into state, but I don't want to like tie up too much of your time. But I really, really do love so many people. And Canberra has an amazing scene as well, which is quite close to Sydney. You've got your
Oh,
Canberra, amazing
yes.
Canberra, like Lola Lust and Charlie, aka Daddy Charles, and Empress Erie, who are all doing amazing things in Canberra and often pop up to the Sydney scene as well.
Hell yeah. Look, yeah,
Ah,
anyone like honestly, we are spoiled for incredible performers on this side. I tell you what, we really, really are.
we just, they're so good. And it's this, everyone, I love that there is a lot of range in the type of acts and the type of art that we see, and the costumes and the performances and the presences that people bring. There is
Oh,
such diverse um, variety in the type of art that we see here as well.
yeah. Oh, gorgeous. All right. Well, since we're hopefully at the very end of this interview, we'll see. We'll see.
If you want to talk with me,
Touch wood. No, no, no. We'll catch up again, but it won't be recorded next time, hopefully.
it'll be scandalous.
Ooh, yeah, that's the after show. That's the after show. What are you up to right now? What is your self promo?
My self promo, I don't really have anything, to be honest with you. I am doing things, but I'm doing things behind the scenes. So I'm doing some like sort of stage assisting and things like that. I'm also working on my shit, really.
Hell yeah.
Um, not a lot at this moment. My muggle life is taking a lot of precedence, but I am definitely working on my boa work and my costumes and what I want to put out into the world. And I really a big focus for me right now is focusing on cultivating community.
Oh
So
yes,
if
yes.
you do want to follow me on social media, please request to do so. It's not currently, my account is currently private, which is so boring, I know. But there will be things coming up in that space, or follow Simply Burlesque because there will be things coming through there, but more so in a community cultivation way, not in a producer kind of way.
Hell yeah. I'm really excited to see what those things are, Forrest. That sounds
I
great.
mean, me too. Me too, Daisy.
I've got a bit of an inkling though, and I'm already hyped. I'm already hyped.
Oh, well, it's nothing too exciting, but I just really want to I just want to have fun with fun people and support good people doing good things.
Yeah. Oh, that's so much. Well, thank
So
you.
cheesy.
What was that?
So cheesy.
Yeah, this is the cheesy cut. This is the cheesy edit. Well, thank you so much, Forrest, once again for being on my show. Um,
Again.
again, um, I'm gonna do like a little prayer before I stop with the recording on this. But thank you, yeah, thank you so much once again. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and hopefully we can catch up again soon without a microphone.
You are so welcome, my love. I'll talk to you later.
We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.